Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the
Hump Day.
edition of Today in Sports Betting. We're going to cram it all into one show here, chock full of basketball action as we take a look at the college ranks and the NBA ranks. Starting off, as we always do, with the amateurs, quote unquote. Scott, we got a lot of games. A couple of the conference tournaments get rocking and rolling. But we've just got one real game between high quality opponents, and that is Villanova squaring off against Creighton. Creighton is going to be the road team here. And of course, I've lost them on my sheet. Scott, where'd they go?
Well, they're playing at 8:30.
There they are. If only I had them highlighted in green. Villanova 4-point home favorite. 146.5 is the total. 685, 686 on your betting dial. Scott, we saw this Villanova team absolutely shit the bed, just about like Michigan did yesterday. I don't know that they played quite that badly. I don't know. Who do you think played a worse game, Scott?
Well, on one hand, you have Michigan losing to a top 4 team without its best player at home. On the other hand, you have a Villanova team playing on the road against one of the worst teams in the entire conference and lost by double digits. So, flip a coin, I guess.
Yeah, that's that Butler team has been so bad.
Butler's been terrible. The Michigan thing, even though the performance was pathetic, especially offensively, they also went through a decent gauntlet over the last couple of games.
yeah, they ran a decent gauntlet for sure.
That's what I'm saying. So you have to wonder if maybe it just got to them at some point where they just had a massive letdown. People thought the letdown was going to come on the road against Indiana.
Right.
But I think it was a game too late where people were just looking at the calendar saying, well, they beat Iowa, then they have to play this, and they have this, then they have 2 games against Michigan State. And at some point, you're just like, is this team ever going to be rested for the tournament?
Yeah.
It sounds exhausting.
And, yeah, it showed. I was hoping – I really thought they were better than that. I thought they were better, good enough to overcome that. But, they looked like they were just absolutely out of gas.
And what do you think of the Baylor game? I thought it was one of the best games of the entire season, but I know Baylor ended up covering in overtime.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I can't tell what to think of West Virginia because there were a couple of, I'd say, 4-minute stretches in there in the second half where that team played some of the best defense I've seen in pretty much all year long.
Yeah.
For about like 2 different 4-minute stretches. I think one actually at the end of the first half, one at the midpoint of the second. And yet Baylor just made all the plays, and West Virginia, a bunch of really stupid turnovers, like unforced, just chucking the ball out of bounds. The referees didn't help. That was definitely a really ridiculous chain of events late in the game with the referees calling fouls in every possession. But Baylor, I think that, shocker, people overreacted when they lost to Kansas once. This team's still really good.
Yeah, that's I did a play of the day, and I actually brought that up about how I really thought a lot of people were going to be on West Virginia getting off the Baylor train. Yeah, it was a good game. It was I think Baylor had a 7-point lead early in the first half or midway through, whatever, and then I think West Virginia had a 5-point lead, and that's as wide a gap as you had. So
also pretty brutal point spread hijinks if you had West Virginia on that
one. Yeah, well, it
sucks for them.
You know what? We've kind of had a nice winning streak over there. I know you have too on the plays of the day, and you kind of need luck like that to keep a streak alive.
It always feels like you never get those.
No, it does. You're absolutely right. He had a great look from downtown to cut it to 2, missed it. Had a decent look there to end the game, and normally what would happen? He'd miss that second 3-pointer. Somebody'd grab it and just put up a 2-pointer uncontested for no apparent reason as time expires and the clock runs out. But that's, what? That ain't what happened. So
yeah, well, your play today did a lot better than my play today yesterday.
What'd you have? Oh, you got canceled.
Yeah, I had Kent State. I took it. I fell asleep, woke up, and the game was canceled. Yeah. So it got posted for about, I don't know, maybe an hour or 2 before it got canceled. Fun times.
Yeah, nice. Good times. On the plus side, you had like 1,000 views, so.
That is true. 1,000 free views of people who immediately got refunded.
Just think of that, dude. That's what is that? Was it 5-minute video? So that's like 5,000 minutes people will never get back.
Yep.
Just gone.
Feels great. Just like that.
All right. So Who's the pretender here, Scott? Is it Creighton? Is it Villanova? Creighton, they didn't exactly look great their last time out. We talk about that bad game against Butler for Villanova. Creighton loses by 8 against DePaul in what was on paper is a worse loss than Villanova's was. They were 15-point favorites.
No, Creighton beat DePaul. They lost to Xavier.
I said DePaul. I meant Xavier. Sorry, yeah, I said at the X. Yeah, they lose to Xavier on the road. You're right, as a 4-point favorite. So yeah, that's it's not as bad. Sorry.
And Xavier had a pretty bad no-show today against Gonzaga. So you can read into that as you want. Almost killed their tournament chances there because Georgetown's pretty bad. So I don't think Xavier is going to be in the field. But at the end of the day, my question for you is, I know that you can't base things on previous seasons and everything like that. Doesn't this just feel like a game that Creighton just completely no-shows?
They have a habit of doing that. They absolutely do.
I'm not saying that I'm officially taking Villanova for that reason, but I'm just saying, doesn't it feel like the kind of spot where Villanova has this brutal no-show against Butler because they have Creighton on deck at home, and then Villanova is going to put the clamps down and probably win this game by like 6?
Well, because they had their way with this Villanova team back in mid-February. Creighton just pretty much ran them out of the gym, 86-70, as they were catching 2 from Villanova. Does that mean anything to you?
I think it does. I think it's fresh. I think it's not long enough away or, earlier in the season for this team to have forgotten about what happened.
Right.
I think it's still fresh. This team got killed. Plus, I mentioned this in my last couple of videos, is senior night for Villanova. Decent amount of players who will probably not be coming back because Villanova, of course, has first-round NBA talent and even second-round NBA talent. So for that reason, this might be the last time you see a couple of these guys at home. Extra little emotional edge there. I don't think Villanova needs it, but every little bit helps, I suppose. At the end of the day, I'm not taking Creighton. I've seen Creighton on the road. This team, road record-wise, is okay. It's 7-3. However, if you look at the quality teams that it's faced off against, it really hasn't performed that well. I know it beat Seton Hall by 4. It trailed by about 20 in that game. I would know because I had Seton Hall money line on that, and I don't really want to talk about it. But other than that, look at some of these games for Creighton. Lost to Butler as well on the road. Ended up
that's a bad loss there.
Yeah, played against DePaul, who's terrible. Won but didn't cover. Played against Marquette, won by 3. Marquette's not very good. Played against Georgetown, did win that one. But you go through the actual schedule, this team just hasn't really beaten many good teams on the road. Yeah. And I think Villanova's maybe not a great team, but it's a good team. And I think Villanova should get the job done. So I'll lean Villanova.
Well, you saw you saw Baylor go out there and lay an egg against KU, although obviously different level in competition, and came roaring back against West Virginia. Obviously they were lucky to get the cover, but they played a very good game against a very good team away from home. So,
do you trust Creighton in the spot?
No, I don't. But I'm going to
swallow your pride and take the points.
No, I think you've got to take Nova here, man. I think this is the better team. I think you're getting a little dipsy doodle on this because Creighton abused them last time, and they had that bad performance against Butler last time out. I think under normal circumstances, this game's closer to 5.5. To me, I think we're getting a bargain here, and I'm gonna play Nova minus the 4.
Now, do you think it's better to take it now, or do you think this line will continue to fall because people are going to be in love with Creighton?
I'm not sure there's going to be a ton of movement.
Yeah, I think it'll probably bounce around between 3.5 and 4.5. That's how I see this line staying.
What was the opening line? Do you see it?
I see it at around -5. It's down to -4.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm expecting it to bounce around 3.5 and 4.5 till tip off.
Yeah, I think there's going to be late Nova money. That's how this feels. Especially if it goes down below 4. I don't see it going to 3. I see it going to 3.5 and getting buyback.
Well, my question is, with Creighton in this game, of course, being an up-tempo style team, do you think it's maybe worth a little correlated parlay action with Villanova and the under, or you don't feel that way?
I don't think that's a terrible play. I'm not as confident as the under.
I just don't see how Villanova is supposed to get into a track meet with Creighton voluntarily. It
certainly didn't work last time for him.
Yeah, I expect Villanova to pretty much force them to slow the pace down by almost requirement. I just don't know how this Villanova team, which don't get me wrong, offensively is good. I think we're used to Villanova being a little bit better offensively, in previous seasons against Creighton. If you're going to go up and down, you might as well just, get the buses ready because you're just not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, this is a Creighton team that shot out of their minds in that first game earlier this season. They shot 60% from the field, 46% from deep, while Villanova shot just 37.5% from the field. Those numbers are unlikely to repeat.
I'm just saying that you had a game that landed at 156 with those crazy shooting numbers.
Right.
So you're expecting about a 9-point reduction, assuming that Creighton doesn't shoot 60%. That total sounds a bit high to me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think, again, lean under. I like a full-throated play on Villanova. I'll let you total people battle it out.
I'm just throwing it out there.
All right, very good. Anything else grab you on the college card?
Well, looking through it, truth is I have not even thought about making my video yet, so I'm still kind of looking through it. But looking at the overall card, I don't know if you can bet on overtimes, but just look at the Horizon League and try to bet every game overtime. Like, I don't really know what's going on there. I do agree that the Horizon League is the college basketball version of MAC football.
We were saved twice today in overtime. I had my play of the day, and I had a premium pick on the over in the Oakland game. And
I had the over. I said on the video, the joint video, I like the over in the Wright State game. That went to overtime, but ended up going over in regulation anyway.
Should have made that your play of the day.
Well, instead of getting a push, I got a win in the joint video, so I guess we'll count it. But Either way, that's a brutal loss by Wright State, by the way. You're up double digits at home in the second half, and you lose to a team you beat twice by double digits in the regular season.
Tournament time. Gotta love it. Brutal. Gotta love it, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
How about a little Penn State minus 4.5 over Minnesota on the road?
I got to assume that Minnesota absolutely just punted. This team lost to Northwestern and Nebraska back-to-back games.
Yeah.
And now they're getting 4.5. I don't know how I'm supposed to not take Penn State.
Yeah, they've got some dreadful losses there.
I thought about maybe making that a play of the day, but truth be told, as I'm looking through the card, I didn't even really think about it until you brought it up. So
yeah.
Maybe I'll make that. Maybe I won't. We'll see. But I'm definitely not taking Minnesota because I think we can both agree the Golden Gophers know that the season's basically over. And I'm curious if Pitino realizes that the pitchfork and torches are getting a little bit closer to the room.
Yeah, it's those people are up in Minnesota. They're pretty nice, but they certainly have their limits. So, I like playing. This dreadful. We've talked about it many times how bad this Minnesota team is on the road.
I think one interesting game that's kind of falling under the radar because it's in the a very, very, obscure conference. You got Abilene Christian against SF Austin.
It's a good game. It's a pick 'em, man.
It's a good game, man.
Going to be good basketball. You got to play there. Or you just want to watch it as a fan.
Truth is, if I was going to play, I'd probably have to take SF Austin. But it's one of those I'll probably try to watch if I can actually find a damn stream for it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, I think I got to lean Austin, but I definitely want to keep tabs on that game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't love Florida State laying 19. I got to be honest with you. I know BC's dreadful. They're awful. But, 19 points, that's pretty high territory. There's some special games that deserve that kind of a point spread. I'm not sure Florida State has the focus to stay ahead by that many points for over the entire game. I don't doubt that they have it covered at some point, but it seems like a game. I'm going to guess that's senior night as well down there at Florida State.
I will check that in a second.
That sounds like if it is, that sounds like the kind of game where white guy at the end of the bench is going to get in and play 5 or 6 minutes.
It is senior.
So yeah, I think that's something to take a look at there as well. I don't think they have the impetus to win that one by 19. I hate betting on crappy teams, but you get 19 points, that's what you're going to do. So.
Well, it's also a mix of Boston College missing a bunch of players, whether it's from COVID or injuries or whatever, because this team really just has nobody. And it has 3 more people who are questionable for this. So when you're talking about, the seniors on the bench who never play, they might be playing 20-something minutes for Boston College. They just don't have any bodies. That's how I'm kind of looking at that one. But just a brief question, though. I know coaching extensions are, expected for some of these coaches. You think it's weird timing? Florida State gave Leonard Hamilton extension after they lost to North Carolina on the road. That's a
Yeah,
little
I
weird.
mean, well, obviously it was in the word or weeks or months or whatever.
Of course, I'm just saying you blew a double-digit lead to a team on the road, and now you're giving the guy an extension. I get that it was in the works.
You think he was trying to play hardball? He's like, what? Let's just see how everything goes. We'll just see how, thinking he's going to make a deep tournament run. Then all of a sudden he loses that game. When we're not going to. I'll go ahead and sign.
Yeah, where's the dotted line?
Yeah,
it still works. But no, they were going to pay him anyway. I'm just curious if you thought that was a little bit of an interesting timing. I just found it pretty, I don't know, amusing, I guess.
Yeah, it was funny how that worked out for sure. Yeah, it's again, I know BC's going to be shorthanded, but on the plus side, they weren't that good to start with. So
that is true.
All right, bud. Anything else you got?
For the most part, no, not really. I'm looking maybe into Oregon -4, but really just no. Kind of. I still got to make a play that I video, so I don't want to give away too much because I still got to actually find something at time of recording. So I'll get back to you on that. But I guarantee you I will find something.
All right, Scotty. Well, let's take a look at the NBA card. First TV game up is it's an opportunity for the world to see how bad the Houston Rockets are.
Are they on TV?
Yeah, they're squaring off against the Nets.
No, it's the Harden revenge game.
It's the Harden revenge game as he comes back home.
Is it even a revenge game if they willingly gave him everything he wanted and then traded him anyway? I'm just asking.
I guarantee it is.
Yeah.
I guarantee it is. This one opened up at 6.5. It's already up to 7.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a car, you should sell it. If you have a house, you should sell it, and we should take the proceeds, put it on Brooklyn in this spot, kids. This is world-class bad Houston team. We've talked about that since their center went out.
They only lost to Cleveland by 10 points.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, in that Cleveland team, this is easy money, man. They've gone 1-11 against the number over their last 12. They've lost a dozen straight. They lost by 5 to Philly, and that was the game they covered. And they lost a 7 to Miami, and that's been it. Everything else has been double digits, and sometimes not friendly double digits either.
Losing to Memphis by 49 isn't a fun time.
No, that's not. That
was
good.
At home, by the way. That wasn't even on the road. That was at home. They lost by 49 in their own building.
Can you imagine people paid money to see that game, to come in, make a whole night of it, come down and watch them lose by 50?
Well, I think that's the perks of Houston now, because you had Texas who basically got rid of the mask restrictions. So maybe you might have fans at the game. I don't even know anymore.
I guarantee you do.
I'm assuming you will, assuming you actually want to drive out. I'm assuming half the fans will be Harden fans. So we'll see what happens.
Wearing their Harden jerseys.
I got to assume so. I don't think anyone has a jersey on anybody on the team right now. Do you?
No.
Eric Gordon might not even be playing. So even if you have a slight Eric Gordon jersey, might not even be relevant for this one.
You think people have Eric Gordon jerseys, man?
I think if they don't have Harden jerseys, or if they burned them after he requested a trade, Gordon's your best bet.
You're probably right. Yeah, this is. Am I wrong here?
The only thing that I would say that might limit me from immediately selling my house is the fact that the NBA, from what we saw over the last couple of days, especially today, injuries really are just a crapshoot in the NBA with injury reports. I know Kawhi was a last-second op. He didn't play about, 20 minutes before the game. You had the Knicks have a COVID issue with Derrick Rose. Nobody knew about that until an hour before. Really and the NBA injury reports are just so ambiguous, and there's just no clarity at all. And I feel like that's a serious problem that people have, especially as teams start to partner up with sports books.
Yeah.
You got to be a little bit more open with who's playing and who's not playing, because at some point you're going to have a situation where you end up betting a lot of money on Brooklyn. And then you find out, Kyrie Irving, his shoulder is randomly bothering him again. And it's like, he tried 30 last game. What are you talking about? It's like, no, I don't really feel like playing because I know we'll win anyway. I just feel like some teams, I know it's different with COVID and you have to worry about some other variables.
That's the problem.
I think
they do need a more a more cohesive strategy. I like what the NFL does, where they have to come out a certain time, hour and 15 minutes before game time. They have to I like that.
I'm fine with that, but I just feel like you would agree that the issue that you have with betting some of these games overnight, it's also why a lot of my plays for the last pretty much the whole year, but for the last month especially, has been only college basketball.
Right.
I normally know who's playing.
Yeah, correct. So
plus the NBA doesn't have lines up this early, but that's a separate story.
Yeah, well, we're pretty much going off of FanDuel is really the only ones that have.
Yeah, I see FanDuel at 7.
DraftKings has one up too. So
I got to take Brooklyn, but once again, if you end up taking Brooklyn, you find out, hey, Kyrie's not playing. Don't be too surprised because the NBA is the NBA.
Yeah, well, okay. And I think load up now and take your chances.
I mean, I got lucky. I said I like Boston yesterday, even if Jaylen Brown didn't play. And then what do you know? Jaylen Brown ended up not really mattering that much because Kawhi Leonard didn't play. Nobody thought he was not going to play.
Right.
So
yeah.
NBA injury reports are an adventure. Is that a good way to put it?
Yes, it is.
So.
Yes, that's a very good point. Something to certainly take into account when betting this game or any other game. Now go sell your house and bet it on this game.
Yeah.
Next.
All that. I'm not taking Houston.
No.
You think Harden goes for a guaranteed triple-double if you're looking for
Yes.
If you're looking for a player performance boost, I know FanDuel has that where you can pick specific player props mixed with the outcome, like Harden triple-double with Nets win or Nets cover or something. I got to assume Harden goes for like 30, 15, and 12, right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I can't really disagree with that.
Hey, how about a little Warriors Blazers? Huh?
Okay. Yes.
Portland, a home dog there, catching a point from the Golden State Warriors. 235.5 is your number. By the way, we didn't give you a number on the other game because we don't have it. We don't have a total on that game. We didn't forget. So, the good news for Golden State, Draymond Green's going to be back. Scott, are you excited?
For Golden State, it kind of have to be, actually. He's been great for that team.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, give me Golden State here, buddy.
Well, you know what I think of Golden State.
Big fan.
I think this team is good against bad teams and even mediocre teams.
Okay.
Against good elite teams, this team is terrible. And luckily for them.
When does one of those come to town?
Well, I was going to say they got killed by the Lakers, even though the Lakers were shorthanded, got killed by the Nets twice, a couple of other spots there. Having said all that, I consider Portland a slightly above average to mediocre team.
Okay.
So with that being said, I'm going to go with Golden State.
There you go. My God, that was a long trip for you just going down the street to get a loaf of bread. Yes. Golden State minus the 1 point.
I think that Portland was on a 4-game losing streak, beat Charlotte. We talked about how awful that spot was for Charlotte, having to play a game in the 250s with a huge comeback win against Sacramento.
Yep.
And playing a back-to-back with travel included.
Yep.
And Portland, of course, won and scored 120-plus points. But Golden State defensively, really good.
Yeah.
And I'm still concerned if, hypothetically, Lillard only goes for 29 points. Can anybody on Portland really step up? Because I don't think anybody can.
No, we've played this song before. Lillard goes for 50. Who gives a shit? Because nobody else is going for 50 between the rest of the team. No.
I think the Warriors have a similar problem, though, with Curry. But Oubre's actually been really good the last couple of weeks. And has been pretty good as well. So,
and they get
good.
And again, they get Draymond Green back.
Yeah, well, Green is a great passer. Scoring-wise, he's useless. But
I don't care about – no, I'm just saying they get somebody else to facilitate with that offense.
Facilitator, he's huge.
Don't make this harder than it is.
Yeah, I'm going with Golden State too.
There you go. Golden State -1. What else you see on the card that gets you pumped today, buddy? Gets that fire coming out of your ears.
Looking at the card here, we have a couple of games with no lines. That Toronto game is hilarious because I don't even know who's going to be playing in that game or who's going to be coaching in that game for Toronto. They have a huge COVID outbreak, so I don't know who's going to be playing. Which, having said all that, I'm going to take in Detroit.
Joe Carter, that's who's playing.
Yeah, looking at the rest.
I got 7.5 for the Raptors, by the way.
Joe Carter could probably give the Pistons some good minutes at the stage in his career.
Raptors -7.5, my friend.
Yeah, I don't know the lineup, so I can't really take that, but I'm intrigued. Looking at everything else, I'll tell you what, one game I'm actually kind of looking at, I kind of like Cleveland plus the points at home against Indiana. Because this Indiana team really has been playing some terrible basketball lately, and I feel like nobody's really noticed. I brought it up before they got killed by Philly. I know that Cleveland isn't a good team, but teams won a couple games after a pretty long losing streak, and this team's at home. They're getting 6. I don't want to lay 6 with Indiana. Do you?
No,
Yep.
not. No, I don't trust this Indiana team right now.
No.
They may figure it out, but this is a team that's been pretty damn bad here over the last week. They've lost and failed to cover 4 straight.
They can't score.
That's kind of the problem, as they've topped out at 114, and with the way their defense plays, defense isn't horrible, but it ain't great. 114 ain't going to get it done. So that could be a good spot for a Cavs team that also lives off their defense. That offense has struggled all year long. It hasn't really mattered.
I'm saying totals around 216, pretty low total in today's NBA. You're still getting 6 points at home.
Yeah,
not that bad.
No.
Am I wrong for agreeing that we both blindly have to consider Pelicans over?
Well, if you're no. I don't even see who they squaring up with.
They play the Bulls.
Bulls are, you think of the Bulls the last few seasons and they can't score. Last time I looked, Bulls are about 6th in the NBA in scoring.
Well, Levine goes crazy, so
they can actually put up some points. And like you said, anything involving the Pelicans, the team that they're the perfect over team. They score 116, they give up 116. They are not what do you call good at all.
For the record, by the way, for this game, I actually think Chicago is pretty live. I know that the line has gone from New Orleans -4 to -5.5. It would be such a Pelicans performance to beat Utah at home and then immediately have a no-show against Chicago at home.
Yeah.
That sounds such just peak Pelicans in 2021. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't want any part of backing this Pelicans team.
No, I want
one way or the other, really. I mean, I thought we had them in a good spot the other night, and they ended up playing a very good game against the Jazz. So but then, then they turn around the game before that. They lose to San Antonio. You just don't know what you're going to get out of this team at all. Good luck. Good luck playing that. That's overs the play there for me.
I have to agree.
This I think this is going to be this Bulls team's struggled offensively the last 2 games. Before that, they've been fine. I think they get well here against this New Orleans team.
Yeah. And the last thing I was going to bring up for games on the card. First of all, the Lakers are laying 4 against the Kings. I know the Lakers just played. Sacramento's lost 10 of 11. You know my thoughts on Luke Walton. I don't think the Kings are winning that game. I'll tell you that much. But, I mean, I know the Lakers' money line's -174, but Sacramento, I think Walton's basically a dead man walking at this point. But one game I do like. I like Charlotte money line at -116 against Minnesota.
Okay.
I think Charlotte's a pretty good basketball team. Simply put, I know the defense isn't very good. Minnesota hasn't won a game since what feels like 2018.
I know.
This team is just awful, and it's half a point. I don't know. You can be giving me 10 points, and I still wouldn't want the Timberwolves. This team's awful.
No, agreed. Yeah, that's got to be a Charlotte play there. I'm with you. I'm not excited about your other stuff, but I like that one as well.
That's just one that jumped off for me because
sell your wife's car for that one.
That's fair. Minnesota's lost 8 straight. They're getting half a point.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
We're betting whoever they play.
I'm just saying. These games haven't even been close.
Is that Vegas? Are they trying to give us the old okey doke there, Scott?
I don't know. I think they're
too good to be true.
Is there an okey doke with Minnesota?
There could be an okey doke. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I'll believe it when Minnesota wins the game.
It seems too good to be true.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
It does. I think you'll see a track meet break out in that game, but I think Charlotte's better at running.
You would track meet like at the Special Olympics, maybe. I don't think.
Perhaps, but
you're not going to see Usain Bolt squaring off against Michael Johnson.
That is true, but
you'll see Cartman. You'll see Cartman out there running.
Mm-hmm. Well, he came in last place, so that's the Timberwolves in this example.
It was so funny.
Well, it's an all-time great show. but that's the Timberwolves in this example, and I'm not going to pick the Timberwolves. So give me Charlotte.
All right, good enough. All right, guys, as always, you're looking for information on these games or even any other games. I don't know why you'd be looking for information on these games. We just laid it out. Come on. But you know this place to stop. It's the #1 spot in the world for predictive sports analysis. That is winnersandwhiners.com. Deep dives every game, every single day. You know the drill. And, of course, we wish you nothing but the best today. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. Guys, have a great day. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at Winners and Whiners, let's go out and make some money today. Have a little fun, and we'll see you tomorrow on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.